Hi, it's Kai, and today we are going to be doing a chatty get ready with me because even though the analytics say that honestly you guys do not give a shit about these types of videos, I like doing them. I like talking to you guys and just being able to have a very casual sitting down and putting makeup on my face type of vibe. Everything will be listed in the description box if you are interested in the products that I'm using throughout this video, but otherwise I just am honestly talking about some of the life stuff that has been happening. And part of the reason that I even wanted to do this is because I just got killing 2 roaches in my apartment. And if you saw my last chatty get ready with me, you would know that I have been dealing with a saga with nasty neighbors in my apartment complex in this building specifically because I've seen it in other reviews, and pest control has come, even when it hasn't been me, has come back to this unit or like my part of the complex multiple times, gone around to like my neighbor's apartment. So I know it's not just me dealing with this issue at this point. However, I've been literally dealing with this issue since February, like with the roaches specifically, and I'm still killing them here in July. Like I literally just paid $1,800 for my rent for July, and I'm doing it to party with roaches. So I just wanted to kind of picking up basically from there, what is happening. I am sending an email with the pictures. Am I in focus? I hope I am. But I am sending an email with the pictures. What do you call it? Okay, usually I don't talk about the products that I'm using in this, but we have Project Pan Progress right here. So if you just saw, I was dipping my finger into this, or not my finger, my brush into this shadow. The edge is starting to crack, which means we're getting close to being able to finish this one. I'm not a person who really likes to even repress shadows. So once it crumbles, if it's too much to work with, then I just go ahead and throw the crumbles out and just use what I can. As I've said in so many other videos, I feel like in the year of 2025, when we literally have generative AI that can make it look like you, like if someone wanted to put me on some jet skis, and I've never jet skied in my entire life, that someone could do that and make it look fairly convincing. So why haven't makeup brands, skincare brands, beauty brands innovated their packaging a little bit more at this point? It's just, I'm not going to stress myself out about trying to finish the product or it breaking apart and all of that type of stuff. Ooh, that was a little bit too much. Let me get a clean brush and diffuse that really hard. So as I was saying, I've been dealing with this since literally the beginning of this year, pretty much. We are in July. It means that pretty much for half of this year, I've been living in an apartment where my head's been on swivel. It's been very difficult for me to be consistent filming because, you know, obviously head on swivel makes filming take longer. Even for this morning, I had intentions to film a different type of video. I wanted to do a 3 looks, 1 palette type of series, or like start doing that here on my channel because I have a lot of eyeshadows and a lot of eyeshadow palettes, and I just don't get use out of a lot of them. So I want to see how many different ways can I use these shadows, how many different looks that are distinctly different can I come up with, or is it a shadow palette where I feel like I have just one look and that's it? It's kind of like a one-trick pony. But because I just had to kill 2 roaches in my apartment, it's just making me like I need to do something to, what do you call it, off steam. And honestly, sometimes my chatty get ready with me videos I do kind of use as a stand-in almost to writing in a diary. Like a lot of the things that I will say on the internet, I actually do and will write in my diary. That's why I'm a person, like I say them in person. I've always been a person when everyone's like, influencers are all fake and they all have a fake persona and they don't act like that in real life. I'm just kind of like, some of us do, but that would require you to like go and follow either a person of color or a queer person or a neurodivergent person. I'm all 3 of those. So, you know, lucky me, but it would require you going outside of what the realm of like an acceptable influencer would be for you to find people like that. I don't even know why I was going on that ramble, but what I was trying to talk about was the fact that, you know, it's very difficult to try to film when your head is on swivel and you're looking around trying to make sure that there is not a bug in your vicinity. And anyone, if I asked any of the people in the front office, I was like, hey, would you like to trade me? I'll go sleep at your house and you get to sleep at my house for a month. They would not ever expect themselves to live in these conditions, even if they were living on property, which it should say a lot that the leasing officers here or the leasing agents, the property manager, none of them live on this property, none of them. So again, that says a lot. If the people that work for you don't even want to take advantage of the fact that you get a rental discount, and I mean, maybe this rental corporation is just super shitty in general and doesn't even give a good enough rental discount or a rental discount at all. But again, it says a lot. Like, that's something when I am looking for apartments again, which I will be, I doubt that even if things worked out and things got resolved here and I wasn't living with roaches, that even the front office, after all of this has gone on, would want to, what do you call it, like renew my lease. I know for a fact that they're not going to. So I know personally, one of the questions I'm going to add to my list when I am touring apartments and asking them about amenities and just generally what's going on in the apartment, I'm going to ask, do any of the leasing people live on site? Or do any of the maintenance people? I don't even know if the maintenance people here, I don't think there is a maintenance person who lives on site, because I have tried to use emergency maintenance once at night and no one came. I've also tried to use a courtesy officer here for a noise complaint one night, loud partying and music going on until like 2 in the morning. And when I contacted the front office afterward to be like, hey, so this is an issue, like that's ridiculous for me to literally be able to hear the words in your music. It's one thing, like I know we're in apartments, sometimes you can hear the bass, even though I am a person who feels like I can listen to my music in my apartment and play it loud enough for me to hear it in the room and it feels so loud to me. And maybe that's again kind of part of the neurodivergence. I've always been a little bit with like loud noises and sharp move and things like that. So it could just be that I'm extra sensitive to noise in particular. I'll give myself that, but I'm just not a person who feels like you need to be listening to your music so loud in your apartment that you can, like, I listen to it, and if I'm in my bedroom and go into my living room, I can't hear it. Maybe if I go into my bathroom, which is a little bit closer to my bedroom, I can still hear it a little bit, but not a lot. I'm not understanding why people feel the need to blast their music out loud like that. And if you do want to listen to super loud music, you can just put in headphones and like crank up super loud and you can get that same effect without, you know, impacting your neighbors. Again, I get it's an apartment. I get that, you know, people are living their lives and everything. But I also feel as though because of American individualism being so ingrained and continuing to get even more ingrained, that a lot of people don't realize, like, most of us don't want to be renting, but we have to. It's basically a necessity with the way the housing market is. You can't just say, oh, if you want your own space and you don't want to hear your neighbors, go and buy a house, because we know that's unattainable for most people at this point. So why you wouldn't want to just be a good neighbor and a good human being to the people around you? Like, it's the reason why no one has community, why people can't find a friend to take care of a pet for them. And I say this as someone who, you know, I'm making money off of Rover currently. So I'm making money on the people who have pets who don't have someone who can come and take care of them at that point. Like, again, give them that point. But like, I know for me, I have friends, family in this area. I've, built a network that I have multiple follow throughs. Like, if one of my sisters can't come and look after my cats and I'm out of town, the other one might be able to for a day. And if that one can't, then I have a best friend who lives down the road. If that one can't, I have another best friend who lives down the road. If that one can't, then I even have some other friends. And yeah, a lot of the time I will give, you know, my friends, especially if it's something that's a little bit out of the way, a little bit of a tip, or I'll be like, hey, next time we go out to dinner, it's on me. But when you cultivate a network of people who care about you, when you don't have this staunch individualism and likewise help them out, like I have, again, friends with pets. If they need me to come and take care of their pets while they're out of town, I come and do it. I drop in on them. I'll take their dog for a walk. I'll feed their cats. I'll do whatever. It's actually going to be super hot today, so I think I'm going to do the Fenty Beauty skin tint. I have a full day of Rover walks and check-ins, pretty much. Well, I say a full day, and a full day is like 4 or 5 appointments. But because I am driving kind of in different areas of the Atlanta metropolitan area, definitely it feels a little bit longer, a little bit more. Yeah, I think when I repurchased this, I can definitely go down. Like when I was a little bit deeper and tanned a lot deeper when I first bought the shade, I think I could definitely go to a slightly less red shade. I can make it work. Anyway, again, I don't know exactly where that tangent was going or why we got on it, but to get back to the crux of what I was talking about, no one should be expected to live this way. I think I was talking about people. I really don't know sometimes how I jump from topic to topic. And again, that would be the ADHD. Thanks to my mama for that one. While it makes me super creative and a literal educational work machine, when the machine goes off, when it's offline, the machine's offline. But as I was saying, definitely one of the next questions I ask when I am touring apartments is going to be whether people live on site, whether maintenance lives on site, whether there's a courtesy officer, does the courtesy officer live on site, or is it some, like, just all of those things? Because it's like they tell you when you're touring, oh, we have a courtesy officer, we have 24-hour maintenance, we have this, that, and the other. But then when you go to actually use them, you find out that it's not exactly doing what you need it to do. You know what I'm saying? It's not really the amenity that they are advertising. Same thing with the valet trash. That is something that I hate as someone who often ends up somehow renting a apartment that is near a trash can, or someone, like, I'm fine. A lot of apartments have the trash compactor on the way out. So it's like I can put my trash on my car and take it on the way out. I don't necessarily need this luxury amenity. And then I know that the times I have had valet trash in apartments, it was really hit or miss as to whether they came and picked it up. And if they didn't pick it up, then I was the one being penalized for leaving trash out because I didn't want to bring trash in a trash, what do you call it, that's been outside. Plus the idea of like taking the trash in and out, like you can't just leave, or you're not supposed to just leave the trash receptacle out there. That's another thing where it's just kind of like, I don't want to be dragging a dirty trash can in and out of my house every day, you know? Anyways, getting off that tangent once again, it's a situation where I'm like, none of them would want to live in these conditions. None of them would stand for living in these conditions. Even if they were a leasing officer and they lived here and they started experiencing these things, they would be the first one to get it fixed. They would be like, oh, I'm either moving units or we're getting the shit fumigated, which is what needs to happen, because it's like, if this issue is ongoing this long, then it means it's a bigger issue within the infrastructure of either one of the apartments, probably the nasty ass neighbors who leave pizza boxes and trash and dog poop and pee on their balcony. But it also could just be, again, structurally, they're somewhere in the pipes, in the walls, and they're traveling from unit to unit and just spraying them, just using that little fucking, basically the same home defense that I have. That's what the pest control people have been spraying in my apartment. Like, they have not, the traps that are put down, I put down the traps. I got this Advion gel stuff that has definitely helped cut down on them. But again, today I saw 2, so I don't know if that's just kind of like a fluke. I did have pest control come to my unit last week, and I was like, yeah, it's still all concentrated on the wall that adjoins you know, my neighbor's apartment. And they were like, he was like, yeah, you don't even have to say any more than that. They actually haven't been on my list in a few weeks. So it's like, even he knows that those people over there are nasty as fuck. And I don't know exactly what treatment he did in those, but I know in my apartment, he hasn't put any of the, what is it, the diameticus, diamaceous earth. The only reason I haven't put that, or boric acid, there's also that. The only reason I haven't put that down is because I really need to do more research into how to apply it with cats. And that's something else that I've brought up to the front office multiple times. Like, I don't want to keep exposing my cat to these chemicals for a prolonged period of time, which is already happening. My cat has already had FIP, you know what I'm saying? So like, I don't need to impact her immune system any more than what that already impacted her. And she's fine. She recovered from FIP very well, very well. She is basically a little kitten again, to the point that the zoomies are sometimes a little bit much. But for how much it cost me to save her life, I don't want to be in a situation where I'm putting her in harm's way, or potentially putting her in harm's way, just because, again, this apartment complex can't seem to get it together. So I had actually emailed, I think at the beginning of June, I was like, hey, I'm still seeing bugs in my apartment. It's still like this has been ongoing for so long. Is there any way that I can be reimbursed, have a rental credit for the amount of pest products, like what I have paid and what my parents have paid out of pocket trying to fix this issue? Some of the things I've had to buy, like a new see-through shower curtain so I can feel comfortable showering, because I was literally driving to my sister's apartments and they're like 20 minutes away from me with no traffic. And you know, if you're in Atlanta, that 20 minutes with no traffic can very quickly double with traffic, or even triple sometimes. So I was having to go there to get a shower and to wash my hair. I still am sleeping on my couch because, you know, my bedroom touches the wall that their nasty neighbors are on, so I haven't felt comfortable yet. On top of the fact that when I had to kill the roach today, it was on the wall of my closet that I had to like take all of my stuff off of that wall, either take all of the stuff off of the wall, which is what I did. It's all over my bed. My bed is basically storage at this point for the things that I have to move so that I can kill roaches. So it's even difficult to sleep in it. So I have since May 2nd, I have been sleeping on my couch. Again, no one would want to live in these conditions. If I asked any of them if they would like to trade for a day, they definitely would not trade me. That is what's happening now. Like when I was asking for the rental credit, they just did not answer. And every time I was like, hey, following up on this, I haven't received a response. One time they were like, oh, we'll send pest control again. And I'm like, I'm not asking for pest control to come back, because the pest control person and company that y'all are using and the treatment that they're using is ineffective. Like the issue is still persisting after months. So at this point, I'm asking financially for me having to live in this situation. I'm living in an apartment that was not in the condition to which I agreed upon when I renewed my lease here. So like genuinely, what are we going to do to rectify this situation? Because I'm sorry, I don't feel like I should be paying the full $1,800 of rent for this issue being outstanding for this long. So that's why I asked for a rental credit for what I've had to purchase, as well as for just a percentage. I'm not even asking for the whole month, you know, but just a percentage of what my rent is, because I am not able to utilize my apartment to the fullest. And they literally just aren't answering at this point. And the last time I was like, hey, so like I'm trying to get, they won't even, like I said in the last video, wouldn't even answer to give me like the notice to vacate information so that I could review it before signing anything and before giving them a date to move out. Because remember, if you did watch the last one, the leasing agent, the property manager, actually said she came to my apartment, walked through and said, okay, give me a date, let me know what you need to get out out of your apartment and we'll get the process started. And so when I asked her what I needed, I told her that I needed to know what my financial obligation would be. First, I was just like, what would I be responsible to sign? What would I be agreeing to in, terminating? I told you guys all this. And if you don't know, then you can watch the last video so that I don't have to, recap it too much. But basically they kept acting confused. I kept asking, and I got to the point where I just straight up asked, what would be my financial obligation upon leaving? Like, I don't believe I should have to pay all of the lease breakage fees and all of this, because it's y'all who are technically breaching your end of the contract by not rectifying this issue in a timely manner. But even if I did want to just break my lease and pay all of the lease breakage fees, pay all of the rent up to however much, like, I wouldn't be able to do that because they won't answer my email. So it's like, how are you supposed to do business with a place where they won't answer emails, and every time you try to go to the front office, oh, she's out of office. You call the front office, oh, she's not in today. Like, I'm not understanding. I know at this point that she is probably ducking and dodging me, but like, this is actual negligence. Like, you avoiding a resident because you're not fixing their issue and because they are following up on it is textbook negligence. So that brings us around to ultimately where we're at today, where I've followed up multiple times, have not received a response from anyone. And I've decided that I am going to go ahead and sue them in small claims court for the amount of pest control, like all of the stuff, again, that me and my parents got to try to make this place workable, in addition to parts of my rent. And I think what I might even do is, since I was asking for the information to potentially move out by July, like to be out of here as I'm filming this, like I would be in a different location filming this video. I think that for the months moving on, like for July and up until I am either out of here or we have the court date, that I'm going to ask for the entire amount. In small claims court here in Georgia, you can sue for up to $15,000. So I feel like that would be definitely, like, what I'm asking for would be within the bounds of, that. And it's only, I think, $110 to file and have served. I've already looked up who the registered agent is that I would need to serve for the corporation, what the, the county that will have to file and go to court in, because you can't just, file in any county. You have to do it in the one that they're registered to do business in. And my mom said she will help me fill out all of the paperwork, because I know that she is also tired of me being in this situation. So, yeah, that being said, because I'm looking to move out, and if I'm being completely honest, even though I've made some money from doing social media content creation and TikTok and stuff like that, the brand deal side of it, I'm going to be honest, since the Cheeto got elected, has been like, I never was getting a whole bunch of brand deals to start with, but ever since he's been in office and has enacted all of the stuff that he's been doing, it's literally been crickets. And that's how most of my creator friends have felt. The only creator friends who have not felt like this are my white creator friends. So if that tells you anything, like, we've basically gone back to pre-2020 levels of diversity and inclusion when it comes to brand deals and properly paying creators and all of that stuff. So I think if I had potentially tried this at any other time, doing full-time creating and then other gigs on the side, freelance bookkeeping, all of that, then I could have made this float. But because, again, I'm looking, and that's another thing, I fully intended, until those neighbors moved in, to be staying in this apartment for, like, I wanted to stay here and make it at least 5 years, because I'm a person who has literally moved since I came to college almost every year, an apartment or home almost every year. And I really do want to get into an apartment where I can sit and decorate it and it just feels like home to me. And I'll admit, this apartment from the beginning never quite felt like that, but I was hoping it would be able to grow into that, you know what I'm saying? And it just has not, and it's increasingly gotten worse. And my biggest regret of last year was not just going ahead and trying to find a way to move, but because I am trying to move, I do think I will have to go back to having some sort of a job, probably corporate, which I don't necessarily mind, because I'm not gonna lie, I have missed aspects of corporate. I don't miss the mind games. I don't miss the social bullshit of it all, but I miss doing work. I miss helping people. I miss solving problems. And while I do that to a certain extent with my platform, especially over on TikTok, as I'm talking about like STIs and all of that type of stuff and giving educational knowledge on that front, but it's just like, I like playing in Excel files all day. And as a creator, there's not much I can do in playing in Excel files. And even with studying perfumery, I've been really enjoying that. I actually made myself a car air freshener, and I got to go see tonight, or today, not tonight. I put it in my car last night, and I want to see if the heat has kind of activated it and what it smells like. But I've had fun with that. But I am just getting to the point where I'm wanting to launch, you know, a brand. And even within that, I don't have fragrances that I can think of off the top of my head that I can readily make and they'll be like what I want them to be. Like, I have just a very specific vision for the branding and everything that I want to go into it. And I don't know if I forgot about brow gel, if I have the ability to do that at that point, but I still do want to engage with it so bad. So I have been applying for some jobs, some sales tax positions that I've seen that have opened up, state and local tax. That's the type of tax that I was doing before I kind of took my year hiatus. And I don't regret my year hiatus at all. I think it was definitely necessary for me to realign on what things are important for me. I think having a more minimal budget, not just having so much money that I can blow and just spend on whatever, has really taught me how much I actually need in my life. I'm in the process, as I'm starting to pack stuff up to hopefully manifest me getting the fuck out of here, I am starting to declutter things. I have my series over on TikTok that is like decluttering using the Fibonacci sequence, which I might add over here on YouTube Shorts. Shorts are just a little bit for me. I don't really feel like I have the YouTube Shorts personality. It's kind of like Instagram. I feel like YouTube Shorts wants a little bit of the curation that Instagram does, and I'm just, again, not that person. Much more of we're just slapping stuff together. And I'm still forgetting brow gel. Where's my brow gel at? Oh, it's in my room. I think that with this microphone, I can actually still continue talking to you guys, even though I am not in front of the camera. So we're gonna try this out. We're gonna see how that works. Where is my brow gel? Here we go. But really, more than anything, more than like missing doing, you know, stuff in Excel and all of that, and feeling like I do somewhat have a piece of life that is missing in that way, more than anything, I just really want to be able to have the, you know, steady income to show on a rental application. Because with self-employed freelance, even if you do make enough money for qualifying for an apartment, it just feels like there's so many hoops you have to jump through, because so many people lie about their qualifications and, you know, fake bank statements and pay stubs and stuff like that. So that's the main reason I want a verifiable source of income, so that I can move into an apartment that does not make me have to have my head on swivel all day. But in addition to that, like I said, I do want to engage in perfumery. So something that I think I'm going to do, or not think, I am going to do, I need to just commit to it. I keep telling my sister even like that I keep just going back and forth because I'm scared. One thing I want to do is offer tarot readings. So if you're interested in a tarot reading, I will leave the email that you can email me at down below. But I also am interested in selling some decants of my perfumes. So if that's something anyone would be interested in, I can definitely like show my perfume collection and which ones I would decant. And then I also want to do custom perfumes for people. Like, I want to have someone give me a prompt or even be like a tarot card. I want you to make something that's inspired by the death tarot card, you know, things like that. I think it would be a really cool way for me to engage more in perfumery and to learn a lot more without feeling the pressure of having like a super put together brand and all of the presentation and the logos and everything that I want. So again, if you guys are interested in any of that, that'll help support me. That'll be extra side gigs in addition to whatever job I end up in. I will do another one of these videos when I have that job and have more information on it. But if that's a way that you guys would like to support me, I was going to do it on Etsy. I literally set up an Etsy page, paid the $29 one-time setup fee and everything, and then literally a day later found out that Etsy, like, people are striking against them for reasons that I also want to strike against them. So unfortunately, I think with that one, I might see if I can get my Etsy money back. Would Patreon be a good place to do that? Maybe I'll do like a little community tab poll, which if I'm being honest, a lot of you guys don't fuck with that either. I feel like the same people who are on this video would be the same ones who would fuck with the community polls and who would actually answer them, because I've definitely done one before and no one answered it and I just felt like the outcast in the lunchroom or whatever. But anyway, that's what's going on. I'm trying to make the most of it, trying to just live my life, but it is what it is. And I hope that I will again have better updates the next time I do one of these types of videos. But if you did stick around just to sit and talk with me, I really appreciate it. Again, especially because I know analytics wise, people don't really like watching these videos. It means a lot that some of you guys still sit with me through the videos that are not necessarily educational or helpful or get a lot of value out of them, like that some people just appreciate sitting and talking to me as a person, as Kai. Anywho, we're going to stop the rambling. I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy wherever you are when you're watching this, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Let me know what you want to see as well, but I'll talk to you guys in the next one.